What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Daramola. For those who have been here before, you already know what it is. You're already part of the family. What's really good? I truly and honestly appreciate you guys. If you haven't been here before, however which way you stumbled upon this video, whether it was through listening to my music or my vlogs, whatever which way, thank you so much for being here. I truly and honestly appreciate it, and I hope I could give you a reason to become part of the family by the end of this video. For those who don't know me, my name is Dharmola. I'm a singer-songwriter, a music producer, and what I like to call an occasional content creator. But yeah, maybe more frequent now because this is my 5th week in a row. And to throw this out there, I am so sorry. I typically would upload videos on Wednesday, but life happens, wife happens, kid happens, and a whole lot of other things. But I'm here this week giving you guys this video on a Friday. Still means something, so I do hope you appreciate that. Excited about this video today, but before I get into that, something huge happened. At the beginning of this week, your boy got featured on a Spotify docu-series. That's such a big deal. I'll leave a link in the description box below, and I'm guessing I'll talk about it a lot more later. I guess for those who haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, make sure you like this video. And if you are on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I do a lot more posting on there, and definitely stuff that I don't post here on YouTube. Let's get right into today's video. Today, I'll be talking about my vocal production setup on FL Studio. Welcome to my workstation, FL Studio, for those who don't know. Super excited to be sharing this with you guys. The name of this song is Energy. I recorded it about 1 month into quarantine. And this is the acapella. For those who don't follow me on Instagram, which I really think you should do, I debuted, or better yet, previewed both verses of this song, and it might possibly be, I guess, a candidate for one of my next singles. So you guys are definitely getting the scoop. For the sake of this video, I have put a lot of effects into this particular version of the song just so you can enjoy it and essentially see how I work. I'm going to play it for you guys right now, and this is what it sounds like with all the effects.
Girl, I wanna touch you with designer. The way we eating, I be looking like a sauna. Shorty dripping, Dolce and Gabbana. And we put you down, looking good and Prada. Energy we on is on a higher. And you ain't really worried about the commas. So I'ma spend it all on you tomorrow. Cause girl, you and I with you, I feel fine. Them not contest, them can't contest. We not comparing, we not impressed.
You get the idea. It's laced with a lot of reverb, a lot of delay, tuned it, and compressors and all the above, melodies, harmonies, and whatnot. But I do want to talk to you guys essentially about my process. So I'm going to start right here. This is what this currently looks like. I'm going to get the bigger option for the mixer, which is one of the cool things you can do in FL Studio. You can enlarge your mixer. And I'm going to start right here on number 2, change the color for, I guess, showcase purposes with you guys. So this is what my chain looks like, and this is not essentially the chain I work with in this very moment, but it somewhat is in the same space. The first thing on my chain obviously is Auto-Tune EFX. I love EFX. It's super simple to work with. It's not like the main Auto-Tune plugin. I think you have Auto-Tune itself, and then you have EFX, which is a much, I guess, streamlined version for people who just want to go straight to it, and that's typically what I like to do. So I sang this song on the key of B major. I have my Fruity Parametric here. I have Waves plugin CLA2A. I have RVox, Little Altar Boy from Soundtoys, which, if you watched my last video, I spoke about how much I enjoyed this particular VST, or better yet, vocal effect. I have H Delay from Waves Audio, Valhalla Vintage Verb, Fruity Reverb, which I use a lot, de-esser from Waves Audio, and Fruity Reverb too. I've really laced a lot of my songs with reverb. So if you listen to my music, I'm like one of those guys who is like super reverb heavy. Yeah, that's essentially what that looks like. I'm going to play this with tune only, just so you hear what it sounds like without the effects. And this is what it sounds like.
Girl, I wanna touch you with designer. The way we eating, I be looking like a sauna. Shorty dripping, Dolce and Gabbana. And we put you down, looking good and Prada.
That's essentially what it sounds like without the effect on. Now, I'm a big fan of artists like Bon Iver, and if you've listened to Bon Iver's 22 Million album, you will find that he did a lot of vocal production. And the same thing goes to Kanye West also. As you guys know from his music, there's just a lot going on, which, you know, is a good lot going on. For this particular acapella, I utilized vocal synth. Now, I spoke about how much I wanted to talk about vocal synth. I haven't been able to yet. I hope I do get the chance to do a much more in-depth video. But I essentially took what I did with verse one. But before I do that, I'll just, you know, just unmute everything one after the other. So I show you what it sounds like with the additions. So right here, like I just played it with tune, I'm gonna add a parametric. I essentially use the parametric when I wanna take care of a high pass filter. And I typically use that on my vocals. So it just helps to take off unnecessary bass frequencies that I don't think are necessary. So this is what it sounds like.
Girl, I wanna dress you with designer. The way we eating, I be looking like a sauna.
Now that's with the parametric equalizer. The compressor, obviously, you know what this does. It bumps up the levels of the track and just makes it sound a whole lot bigger. I don't want to go one after the other because that's just going to take your time. Our Vox, which essentially just adds, I guess, a little flair, in my opinion, to the vocals. There's a preset here called Pensado Good Vocal, and that's what I've been using for the longest. And then obviously Little Altar Boy, just to have the variation of a high octave or low octave whenever I need it. Now I have, if you can see, I have this happening right here. This is an automation here on FL Studio. So this essentially works in that if you use, in this case, I'm using a Little Altar Boy. So there's parts of the verse that I don't want the effect to work on. And so in order to have that work, I have an automation channel where when this is raised up, then the effect comes on. When this is back down, no effect. That's essentially how automation works. You know, in this, I put my settings on ping pong 1/8 of a second, and that's when the delays actually come. And ping pong essentially is when your echoes are bouncing back between left and right ear. So that's what I really like about that. Valhalla Vintage Verb, obviously, you know, that's an extra like reverb, fruity reverb, extra reverb. The de-esser does what it essentially says it does. It de-esses. So when your S's and T's, for example, are super sharp on your record, maybe because of the microphone or the place where you recorded, de-esser helps to reduce that. And finally, fruity reverb again. And that's how I was able to get this.
Girl, I wanna dress you with designer. The way we eating, I be looking like a sauna. Show you dripping Dolce and Gabbana. And we put you down looking good and Prada.
And that's what that sounds like. Now I have another back-end vocal. I essentially took what I did here on verse one and I replicated it, or better yet duplicated it, for the sake of having a vocoder type effect. Sounds so good. And essentially what happens is for every note that you add, you hear an extra harmony from that note, which I think is just amazing for people who like, you know, robotic vocals and harmonizing and all that. Now when I play this together, this is what it sounds like.
Girl, I wanna dress you with designer. The way we eating, I be looking like a sauna. Show you dripping Dolce and Gabbana. And we put you down looking good and Prada. Energy we on is on a higher. And you ain't really worried about the commas. So I'ma spend it all on you tomorrow. Cause girl, you and I with you, I feel fine. Them not contest, them can't contest. We not comparing, we not impressed. You're not that killer, you're not that threat. So I pull up on gang, 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 gang.
Obviously, there are a few more effects working here on this song. So just like I did with the first verse, I was able to duplicate the pre, and when I play that alone, this is what it sounds like.
Them not contest, them can't contest.
So it has somewhat of a dirty, I guess, dirty vocal thing to it. And that's courtesy again of Little Altar Boy. It's a high octave double. I was able to use that, and that's what gives it this feel.
Them not contest, them can't contest. We not comparing, we not impressed.
So you can basically hear both vocals. So the main vocal for the pre, and then you hear a high octave doubler on top of that that gives it such a buff feeling, if I could use that word.
Them not contest, them can't contest. We not comparing, we not impressed.
Now, like I said, I love reverb, and so this is essentially an echo type reverb chain that I created. And here I have essentially the same thing that I have on my 2020 setup here for the main vocals. I have auto tune. Here I'm using CLA 76, which is a different compressor. Valhalla Vintage Verb, which is more further up on the chain, RVox, and I basically have the reverb turned up to not the max, but to a level where you can definitely tell the reverb is very present. And so this is what it sounds like together.
Them not contest, them can't contest. We not comparing, we not impressed. You're not that killer, you're not that threat. So I pull up on gang.
And so that's that. And now we move to the hook, aka the chorus of the song.
Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy. Your energy, oh baby.
And this is what the hook sounds like all together, minus the vocoder effect.
I do wanna feel your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, I do wanna feel your energy, oh baby. Your energy.
I'm like singing over it. My bad, guys. Sounds good to me, so I tend to do that every now and then. But anyways, when I add the vocoder effect to this, it just sounds a lot more fuller, and this is what it sounds like.
I do wanna feel your energy, oh baby. Energy, oh baby. Energy, oh baby. I do wanna feel your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. I don't give my love to just no one, but when I'm with you, it feel like magic, shawty. I don't really trust no one, cause nothing hurts way more than a heartbreak, shawty.
And that's entering into verse 2. Same process like I did in verse 1. I duplicated the first part of the verse 2 and put the vocoder on top of it. Same thing happens with the second part.
Energy one is on a higher. Energy one is on a higher. And you ain't really worried about the karmas, girl. So I'ma spend all night tomorrow. Cause baby, when I'm with you, I feel fine. Them not contest, them can't contest. We're not comparing, we're not impressed. You're not that killer, you're not that threat. So I pull up on gang.
Now the second pre-hook is a lot richer than the first one, and that was the intended purpose. On this, I actually have the pre-duplicated twice. So I have the second, the first duplicate for the vocoder, and then the second one, I believe I put another instance of Little Altar Boy on it with a different effect. This is what this sounds like. This is with the vocoder. And then with the second duplicate,
Them not contest, them can't contest. We not comparing, we not impressed. You're not that killer, you're not that threat. So I pull up on gang.
and obviously with the ads, and this is what everything sounds like on the pre-hook, or the second pre-hook.
Them not contest, them can't contest. We not comparing, we not impressed. You're not that killer, you're not that threat. So I pull up on gang. I do wanna feel your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. I do wanna feel your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby. Your energy, oh baby.
That's it. This is essentially the song as it comes with all the effects. Super excited to share this with you. Honestly, this is actually pretty cool, and I definitely want to do more of these videos. For intensive purposes, this is what I'm currently using. I basically set up my chains, and I have a new chain called Fresh, and with the help of a very good mixing engineer and vocal producer, I was able to rearrange essentially what my chain looks like. So in the first instance, I have auto tune. Second, I have a compressor. My compressor of choice in this case is CLA2A. I have RVox to complement CLA2A. I have my H delay, which is for my delays. I have my reverb. I have my parametric all the way down now. And this essentially works, like I said earlier, with reducing or using the high pass filter. I have Fruity Reverb, and then I have my de-esser. So this is essentially what it is. This is how I rock. The name of the song is Energy. Comes out soon. Super excited. Thank you so much for watching this. This is my video today. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, make sure you watch my other vlogs. I'll leave links in the description in the box here. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe, and make sure you hit the like button on this video. Until next week, one love, peace, and stay safe.